Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy C2DaJ. I got my partner.
Sir Bishop introducing us Royal Flyness. We in the building.
Yes, you already know what it is, man. It is the Rap Hippies. You know, we vibe different. And this is our new show, The Sidebar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. C2DaJ and I coming together. Give us some fresh takes on battle rap and just, some other things we may have on our minds and just recapping, things in life in general.
So, and man, we got some things to talk about too, Bishop.
Yes,
I ain't even gonna lie to you, dog.
Yes,
we got some things to talk about. So, you know what? Let's not even waste no time, man. We're gonna jump right on into it. The grudge match of all grudge matches happened about 2 weeks ago.
Finally,
John the Don,
versus
my partner.
Yes, sir.
Versus Ace
Amin. Off rip. How you feel about the battle scene?
Now, honestly, when it first got announced, I was like, nah, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, wait, hold on. Ace gonna do it, and he gonna do it in Atlanta?
Right.
On Bullpen?
So, I'm going to keep it a buck. When I first found out about that, I was like, oh, okay. That sounds right up Ace's alley. Short, stocky brother. He got his whole fresh out of prison thing going on. Like, that's right up his league. But, like, given the backstory behind their battle, like, the whole, we don't have to get into the specifics, but just, like, the drama behind them, I was actually really excited to see them finally get that lock in. Kind of interesting that it happened on Bullpen and not URL, but, shout out to John and them for making it happen.
Man.
But do you think the battle lived up to the hype?
So, before I go into that.
Because you were actually there.
I was in the building for it.
Yes, sir.
But before I go into that, you know what I'm saying? Leading up to the battle, the promos for this battle, these boys was selling this battle.
Man, look, the TMZ video, Ace dropped, bro, had me dying laughing.
Clever. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's one thing I'll definitely say, just from the standpoint of marketing and like how they wrote the battle.
Right.
Like both of them were on their job. They like. I was hyped for the battle before, but they each of them really sold it. Like kudos to John and Ace.
Yeah, man. If it's one thing Ace can do, he gonna sell a fight.
That's a fact, and get under your skin in the process.
I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't even battling. I'm like, man, I want John to kill this dude.
I mean,
watching a lot of these interviews, I'm like, John, please.
And kind of to that point, before we like get into like material within the battle, like that was one of the things like from the backstory. Them like, all right, well, I'm not saying Don was right in reacting the way he did in the situation.
Right.
But as the man said, you can't tell any given man how to react under, threats in any given situation.
And we don't know what the pretense of those threats were. So
yes, sir.
It was Anyway, man. So in the building.
I
was in the building. It was a couple of months like. I want to say like my 6th, 7th Bullpen event I've been to. You know what I'm saying? I always support the homie John.
Of course.
Not only that, but the rest of the card was dope as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you subscribe to that Shrug Life Network. Shout out to my boys Will and John. But the battle of John and Ace, if I had to give it a rating from a 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it about 7.5 to an 8.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Now leading up to the battle. You can feel the tension in the building. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm sitting here talking to my partner, like, bro, is the battle even gonna happen? Like,
right.
Is blows gonna be thrown?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
The
way some of them boys was talking, way Ace was talking was real spicy.
Man, look. You see how he started his first round off.
Yeah. But I would say I give about 7.5 to an 8. It was decent. It was a good battle. Nothing crazy happened. Ace actually came well prepared.
Definitely.
More prepared than I thought he would.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I also think if this was on a URL stage, might be a little different for him.
A little bit different.
The pressure might just be a little bit different. Yeah,
well,
we welcome the fans back, to battle rap, stuff like that. But I think it would have been a little bit different.
So good. Kind of to the same point, I would definitely say, if I had to call it, I would say it was I could agree 7.5 out of 10. Overall, good battle, great material on both sides as far as the content that they came with. That energy was there.
Oh, yeah.
as far as that aggression between the two of them was there all 3 rounds. Shout out to Ace for getting through all 3 of his rounds. Kudos to him.
But did he?
He did, but
did he?
Now, if you want to nitpick,
did he?
All right, but did his opponent too? We can get into that.
We can get into it. We can. So what you calling it? What you call it? Who you got?
If I'm being honest, on first watch, I had Ace winning the battle 2-1. On first watch, I gave Ace the first round and the third. On second watch and third watch, to me personally, the only clear round in the battle is the first. To me, the second round and the third round, both are preference rounds, and it ultimately boils down to what you like. I personally tended to lean more towards Ace in the third and John in the second. However, if someone were to make the argument in either case, I could see why they would. And then also, even in the post-battle commentary, just like watching the battle, reading body language, and then listening to the interviews and seeing how each of them felt afterwards, I felt like just in John's body language, he felt uncomfortable about it. Not necessarily to say that he felt like he lost. I think that he realizes that performance may not have been as stellar as it could have been, or the victory may not have been as clear as
everybody thought it would be. Okay.
Because I will say, with the battle taking place in Atlanta on Bullpen, one thing that I do give Ace credit for, obviously him coming in being the quote-unquote bully, the bad guy, even though, if you really want to get into it. But anyway, just from an optics standpoint, with him being the bad guy, him still fighting through the crowd as far as like getting through his material, rhyming. He was incorporating freestyles all 3 rounds. Some of their rebuttals were dope, some of them not so much. But the fact that you still in hostile territory was able to incorporate that and still get through your material, I thought that was dope. I commended him for it. John again. John is John. From a battle standpoint, you know exactly what you're going to get. That man is a tactician. He is a sniper.
Facts.
But one thing I will say is I think Ace did a really good job in the promo, kind of like, oh, you're painting narratives, so let me counteract that in different ways that I can. I think both of them did a really good job kind of breaking each other down. I think both of them did a really good job going in depth with the situation as far as the backstory that happened with them. For my personal preference, obviously, I like the way Ace came in the first round, and then I like, essentially John's response in the second, like the whole idea of what you gonna say, like what you gonna try to pay me as not a gangster. Well, guess what? I'm not one. I'm a businessman. Like,
facts.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a level of grown man rap into that. How about yourself?
So you, after second and third watch, you still giving it Ace 2-1?
I would say I lean more towards Ace. But the only clear round in the battle for me is the first, and John lost the first round to me.
Okay, all right. I can't argue the first round. I can, but I can't, because I get why a lot of people feel like Ace won it, because his was quote unquote a little bit more clear, as everyone says or feels. John did go back a little too far back in his first.
A little too far back.
He
went how? No. We ain't doing that.
Even in the building when he does it, you don't get the feeling of, oh, he forgot what he was going to say or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So even in his interview, his post interview, he says, you know what I'm saying, I didn't feel like the crowd was hearing me. So now again, did he take it a little too far back? I would say that, yeah. But you can tell when a person, and we've seen chokes.
Of course.
And you can tell when a person
is
like choking
or
forgot their rhyme or whatever you're saying, or their next bar.
Right.
It wasn't that. And you can tell it wasn't that. You can tell. In the building,
I can't
even watching it off of 2 watches. You can tell that.
So, like, for me personally, just because, like, obviously, we both battle rap fans, and then, like, just, like, the rhymer in me, like, I know what it feels like even not even on some being on stage. Like, let's just take you in the booth.
Okay.
You laying this verse down for this song. And you going. You may stumble on the word, or, like, you may say a line, you like, oh, and everybody in the room is reacting like, oh, like that bar was harder than I thought it was. They got me hyped. I forgot where I was. So what do? You go back. All right, let me just run it back a couple bars. All right, cool. There is a difference between coming back, repeating 2 bars,
Right.
4 bars, 8 bars. I sat there and counted. John went back a full 24 bars. No less than 16.
Okay.
That's a whole verse on a song you went back. And at the same time, again, if we're talking about watching the battle from an optic standpoint,
Right.
like because if we're talking about reading body language, like you can tell when someone has that, oh shit, where was I? Let me try to run this back moment. Like you see, we watching the battle, like So like you can almost now. I will say, from a veteran standpoint, like John did exactly what he was supposed to do. Because like for me personally, it literally looked like he got to that bar, the crowd reacted more than he expected to. Oh shit, where was I? Let me run this back real quick. And he ran it back.
He ran it back, but he went too far back.
Exactly. And
so that's why I won't argue if somebody gave Ace the first.
Right.
Or whatever, because his was a little bit more cleaner.
Yeah.
Now, second is by far the clearest round. John's second killed Ace's second.
So
it wasn't even close. It's not no edge.
Yeah.
It's not. It was not even close. Like how we can debate the first.
Yeah.
There's no debate in the second.
So I will say this. On first watch, I was absolutely with you. On first watch, I was like, oh yeah, Ace got the first clearly. John got the second clearly. And then how you feel about the third? I still feel like John got the second one pretty clearly. But I will also say, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier from the standpoint of Ace showing himself as being comfortable on that stage and being able to like fight through certain stuff and just like being able to like show a little more versatility than I will say, if nothing else, Ace earned my respect as a battler in that second round.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at anyone saying he lost that second round.
Right.
And then I feel like in the third round, both of them kind of took their foot off the gas in a way.
I can agree there.
From an energy level standpoint. I
Definitely.
do think just from a content all together, all 3 rounds, just especially like with, played out angle as it might be, but from the standpoint if we're talking about like, I'm battling you, I'm attacking you and your character, and like this is where we at. I think Ace did that pretty effectively in the third round. Whereas from John, I feel like in the third round, John was kind of at a point where like, all right, the battle's pretty much over. Like I'm finna get through these third rounds, crack a couple jokes. I done put this in the bag and we out of here.
So even in the third, okay, to me, why Ace loses the third, one, he shortened it. He jerseyed.
Oh, definitely.
He jerseyed. So, but 2, a lot of what he was saying, a lot of the content, yes, it was an overused angle, but John pretty much negated it in his first.
But the same thing can be said about John's material in the first and second round, just from the standpoint of like, the whole like, all right, cool. Even if we're not getting into like, what are you gonna say? I'm not a gangster. Like that in and of itself was, great defense from John. But if we're talking about the whole
in the context of that battle, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Ace in his third said something that we've heard the last 4 opponents of John use. Now, if he would have used it and said something, maybe that was just totally different.
Okay.
Then I could probably give him a pass for it. But he said pretty much the same shit. He didn't say nothing spectacular to change up what the angle was.
So for me, the only reason I like the angle in the third round specifically, of course, we don't have to not necessarily just highlighting the domestic situation. All right, cool. Like that portion of it in and of itself, very much overused. Like, all right, cool. I'm with you on that. But from the standpoint of then like taking that angle and then going to, all right, well, let me get back to talking to you as a man with kids, with a daughter, who's if we're getting into that, especially in a time where protect black women, and
I get that.
So like, I'm just saying like
if John had a daughter,
true,
he has a son.
True.
So again, it kind of like. I get it. I get where he was trying to go with it.
Exactly.
I get where he was trying to go with
like
it.
Like a conversation we were having off air. I see where you were going with it, and I get what you were trying to do. But
to me, it just didn't hit as well.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But again, I like that more than... Because, again, like for me personally, it felt like John was just joking for the most part in the third round. Like he had the whole... Because the third round from John was essentially about how like, oh, great, another Goonie I got to battle because he battled the whole Goonies. And then he did the whole like... he brought back the whole "you want your chain back, go get it" thing, but Ace already talked about that earlier. We'll mention that earlier in the battle in the world as well, if you want to be technical about it. And then I just wasn't.
But he didn't use a whole like John didn't use a whole.
What are you talking
about?
Like he literally ended.
I mean, what I'm saying,
the whole
like,
this Ace Amin's money, throwing it in the crowd.
Oh,
again,
it literally had Ace Amin name.
He literally wrote Ace Amin.
Like,
because I even seen it on Champion. Like Jay Black and them, like they brought something about.
I should have brought it. I should have brought it.
He literally wrote Ace Amin money on it on the. All right, cool, that's dope. But if we're talking about again from content, it's just like, all right, well, like to me, like that just again for me personally, that just feels like, all right, well. Either way, like, I'm paying you to be here. You finally got your battle. Like, we can get this over with. Either way, I'm finna get paid and get out of here. But, like, again, if me and my interpretation watching it, it's like, yeah, the round was dope, but it felt like, to me, John looked like he thought that round was shaky as well. Like, because, like I said, even in like, the post-game takes or whatever, you can kind of see him, like, he seemed a little more fidgety, a little more uncomfortable in those takes than he normally is. Like I remember Summer Madness say after him and Hollow and like his commentary and how he again, if we're talking about reading body language and like I've seen John after a win. I've seen Rock after or other battles other battlers after a win. You can tell a lot about their body language. And again, it's not necessarily to say that I think John thinks he lost the round because I'm pretty sure if you ask him, he'll say he won it pretty convincingly. But I do also think he will acknowledge there are certain spots that.
And I honestly think only round that John may say that he may felt like he may have he'll give anybody is the first.
It's the first.
You know what I'm saying? But even on his post interviews, he looked very comfortable to me.
Yeah.
Even on one of them when him and Ace dapped up. You know what I'm saying?
And to that point, that above else about this battle, that was the dopest part about this whole thing for me because again, battle rap is supposed to be a place where two grown men can have an issue, come together and settle it in the form of rap and shake hands afterwards. So we talk about, being grown men and progressing. It was beautiful that, they were able to get it off their chest and at the end of the battle, shake hands, dap up.
The culture won.
The culture definitely won with that. And then they even did a post-game interview on John's Shrug Life Network on Caffeine, which was really dope to see. So,
I loved it. I'm still going to give it 2-1 to John. I wouldn't be mad at folks who say 2-1 Ace.
Definitely.
But, like I said, the clearest round to me was the second. If you want to give Ace the first, perfectly understandable. But the third, I'm edging it to John. Just off the simple fact that what Ace was talking about in his third, John had already addressed in his first. Now,
definitely.
With that being said, if Ace was to go, if he would have went first, it might have been a different story
for you.
Because not only that, then it would have been easy of him explaining the whole Caps joint he was trying to do.
And with that, like I thought that like even just something.
It was clever, but in a sense, he's putting them on and he ain't even rapped yet. So now people are like, why is he like we get it?
But that's called playing defense, which as we get into one of our later topics, because another team could have done something, you could have found a more creative way to play defense. But
I like the creative. I think
definitely.
If he would have went first though to kind of help explain why he was doing it, it would have hit a little bit harder.
But if you paying attention, like even as John's rapping, you can kind of see, and he even said it in his first round, like just so you know, every time he capped, I'm gonna put one on.
But if he would have went first and been able to say it, then I think it would have just hit a little bit harder because if you notice throughout the rest of the battle, every time he tried, he couldn't put no more caps on because,
I mean,
honestly,
nigga had like 13 caps on.
But not only that, even when he took them off, John wasn't saying too much more cap shit. Obviously, that's how he felt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So 2-1. I'm giving it 2-1 to John.
Definitely.
My boy Bishop said 2-1. He after 3 watches.
After 3 watching,
he's still giving it the ace.
I'll say 2-1 either way.
Either way.
2-1 either way.
Fair. That's fair.
I think John fans will be happy with what they got. Ace fans will be happy with what they got.
Right.
And Ace may pick up a few fans on.
Definitely.
So, great battle for them.
The culture won.
The culture definitely won. Speaking of the culture winning, before we get to Double Impact, because we love the energy in the culture.
Okay.
Your man Cassidy is back. And he is battling Hitman Holla this weekend on the 4th. RBE Max Out. Please tell me you have seen this face-off.
I've seen it.
Boy.
I've seen it. I can't get that time back. That's exactly what I can't get that time back. If it's one thing though, Cassidy is gonna do, he gonna sell tickets.
And look.
He did it against Goods.
He did it against ours.
He did it against ours.
He did it against Diz, and he doing it against.
And doing it like, and by the way, if it's one battle, I think he may have won. Might have been the Diz battle.
Oh yeah, no, he beat
sure.
Diz.
Like everybody else though, he died.
Oh no, so off rip, I'll say this, like Mr. 5,003-0. Since he has come back to battle rap, I'll say he definitely beat Diz the second time around because the first one don't count. We're not even gonna acknowledge that.
Okay.
So I definitely had him beating Diz, but Goods, ours, no go. Hitman, definitely finna be a no go.
We're going to get into predictions in a little bit. Just in a little bit.
But
the face-off was crazy. I ain't going to lie. Hitman like that.
Man.
Hitman is like that. No, I don't care what anybody feels. Yeah, my boy on TV, MTV, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Don't let that fool you.
Well, so the thing about the face-off is, off rip, ARP didn't have to say too much. But again, if you know Hitman, Cassidy, that was to be expected.
Yeah.
But just from the standpoint of again, you talk about selling a fight. Like Cassidy just has a way of knowing what to say, when to say it,
Facts.
To get under your skin, and in that he is not finna stop. Cassidy gonna talk his talk, and he don't care who you are.
He definitely.
And no matter how you look at it.
He know what buttons to push, bro.
He know exactly what buttons to push. Now, I will say from the standpoint of if we're talking about, because even in Hitman's face-off with Suge, when they battled, he had a line of, people get quiet when facts get thrown around. And he was talking about how, it's all fun and games till I give you the same energy back that you giving me. So, it was hilarious watching just from the standpoint of obviously none of the battle rap questions got answered or asked. None of that was got into at all. ARP was just so how does this? I don't even think he asked who wins. He was just so what's up? And niggas was on goal ever since then. And then Cass get to, of course, Hitman being Hitman, he ain't no young pup, so you get to talking money. Hitman was what you mean?
Right,
I just came from, what you really want to do?
And that's the thing, you can't talk money with Hitman, honestly. And right now, can you name me a recent Cassidy hit?
Girl, you want to...
Exactly. Man,
so,
now unless he's still getting money from...
Oh, no, he definitely still collecting them I'm a Hustler royalty checks and them hotel royalty checks.
I get it.
But, let's not act like we ain't seen Cassidy making them beats.
Next topic.
I will say, just from the standpoint of, I see why in the face-off people thought Hitman was being emotional or are you being extra. But again, you can't tell nobody how to react in any given situation.
Exactly. And you there by yourself.
If I'm out here dolo by myself, you trying to get into some street stuff, and we've been talking about, and I'm trying to talk about rapping, and you talk about you got people in here. Well, it don't make me no difference. I just got to, you know what I mean?
Let me just go ahead and grab this bag.
Let me quick. All right, since you putting that energy out, let me put it back.
Yeah.
So I think, even in a lot of the battle rap Facebook groups that I've seen, from the standpoint of if we talk about following the code, both of them did exactly what they were supposed to do. All right, you got people in here, I'm going to just grab my bag. And Cassidy was like, so you grabbing a bag, like, what you finna do with that? Like, and eventually ARP just got to the point where it's just like, you know what, fam? Like, let me just get Cass out of here because y'all wilding.
Yeah. Y'all really wilding
down.
out. That's what y'all doing.
But the crazy thing is, like, it felt like Cass, again, selling the fight, antagonizing, saying whatever he got to keep it going. And then by that point, Hitman was just emotional and upset.
He was already at his peaking point.
Oh, definitely. But I think it was dope seeing Hitman and Lord Jamar get a chance to kind of like sit down afterwards, kind of go into it. And I think Hitman ended up doing a workout with Hip Hop Is Real, kind of like, so like that was pretty cool. And then again, from the standpoint of we talk about the energy in the culture and selling the fight, like, I'm going to be honest, when they first announced this battle, I was just like, all right, well, Hitman's from the 30 Cassidy. I'm not excited about the battle. And then I watched the face-off, and I'm like, all right, well, Hitman's still from the 30 Cassidy, but I kind of want to see the battle because Cassidy done managed to piss him off.
It's about to be a clean 3-0. It ain't even going to be close.
You know,
honestly.
You would think.
Hitman performance. He done stepped his bars up.
Well, see, and
his writing is up.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, like, Hitman specifically, people say, oh, Hitman is all performance, he's all performance, but, like, make no mistake about it. Like, Hitman can rap. Like, yeah, there's very much a setup in a building. He structures his rhymes a certain way. But if we're talking about, like, setting them, like, let's not act like Hitman ain't been doing numbers in his last performances.
Right.
Him and John in the 2-on-2 against Clips and good fire battle. They was snapping in that. Hitman, I had him beating Tay-Rock in that battle. And when they battle, Hitman was rapping against Bill Collector, doing this thing. Like, Hitman can rap, and Cassidy still sounds like it's 2006, and everybody and their mama swear up and down he been sparring and doing this thing. Look,
yeah, he better call up some of them Philly boys, man.
I mean,
holla
he gonna have
Reed
to
real quick.
He gonna have
Reed
to.
Reed done stepped his up.
Well, you know, Jag's on the card with him, so like
next.
I mean, I'll say this: Jag in his couple of battles was okay. I'll give Jag that much. I still think O-Red finna kill him on that same card.
Mr. Translation is about to
That's
kill.
a fact.
Like,
but I don't know who Cass is sparring with in preparation for this battle, but like, help your mans out, cause like, if I'm being honest, like, good stout on him, Arse was wilding on him, and Hitman finna do all of that and then some. And some.
Man, enough of them two fools.
Yes, sir.
Double Impact 4.
Yes.
Recap.
Yes.
Just went down.
Yes.
March 27th. Ooh.
How'd you feel about the card? How'd you feel about the event as a whole, man?
It's hard not watching a lot of these events on the big stage without the fans. I'm not even gonna lie.
Really?
So like, so watching this type of event, I've been trying to get used to the whole caffeine setup, the small rooms, which is cool.
Yeah.
I love the small rooms for certain events.
Yeah.
But like events like this, I think need a big stage.
So I will be honest with you, because like that's also something I've been seeing a lot as far as people missing the big stage. I'm gonna be honest. I'll rock with this caffeine setting and this COVID-19 setting.
Yeah.
Case in point, we talk about, material translating in the building and on camera, kind of going back to the John and Ace battle. In that battle, I feel like both of them had a lot of lines that the crowd was not reacting to at all.
And to the defense of that, though, a lot of the folks that were at that battle, because I was there, they really weren't back.
Of course not. Let me make no mistake about it. Like, a lot of people that were there to see a situation. But just from the standpoint of, like, that, but that's not just a bullpen thing. Like, there have been URL battles.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times, like, there are battles where, like, the crowd messes. And then, for me personally, I'm one of those people, like, when you say round, my ears is perking up. I'm trying to hear everything. I need to hear every line. I'm zoned in. I don't care what the crowd got to say. I don't care that the crowd reacting. Like, I need to hear everything. And so, like, a lot of times, again, crowds get the booing, they get the gassing. Cool. But, like, just from the standpoint of, like, And the whole idea of this setup with them one-on-one, maybe smacking a few people in the background and like, yeah, like you gotta, it's just me and you in this ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ain't no, like, I like that feel, man.
Yeah.
I like that. It's that feel.
I like it.
Man.
No, I mean, I get it. I just think for like double impact with the whole 2-on-2 thing, it just garners like a bigger stage.
Now, I will say to that point, it depends on how you operate in that setting. So, like, kind of getting into it. So, like, even prime example, Island Rum versus New X Outlaws. So we had Jay the Nightwing and Rum Nitty versus DNA and Don Marino.
Which I thought would be a odd pairing with Nitty and Jay.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest. Soon as they said, so a little backstory. Originally, that battle was supposed to be Clips and Your Honor versus DNA and Don Marino. Clips and Your Honor could not make it, so 2 weeks, roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks before the battle, Jay the Nightwing and Rum Nitty get a call if they feel there. Immediately when I saw Jay the Nightwing and Rum Nitty, I immediately thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. They work perfectly. They both got the whole West Coast love with Nitty being from Phoenix and Jay being from Seattle. The way that they write and come up with rhymes, like they're both Nitty being punching, you know what Nitty does, and at the same time, like a lot of his punches tend to be unorthodox and they'll catch you off guard.
Yeah,
I think the way Jay the Nightwing writes specifically can be very unorthodox at times too. But he's very creative in the way that he writes.
Yeah.
So I just figured like, oh yeah, like that works well together. And then you got DNA and Don Marino, that's NWX all together.
Facts.
You know, so. I will say with them though, I was pleasantly surprised that just because like I know DNA, you know what you're gonna get with DNA,
of course.
And Don Marino I have been getting familiar with. He didn't, I saw his battle with Rum Nitty, but as far as like the way they bounce off of each other, you talk about chemistry. That was one of the things from Double Impact that was very prominent throughout the night. Chemistry, as far as like those 2-on-2s being in sync with one another and getting them bars off. I thought it was a great battle all around, especially with the preparation time. All three of them, both teams got through all rounds, all three clean. It was a great performance.
Who you giving that one to?
I gave it to Jay and Rum Nitty. I had Jay and Nitty winning the first and the third. Yeah, that's right. I had Jay and Nitty winning the first and third. And that's not no slouch to Don and DNA because they were doing their thing. I just think from an optic standpoint, the content that they were covering, especially in that third, like the whole guilty conscious scheme that they did, and like bringing that back and still using that to attack DNA and Don with the same cadence and everything. I thought that was really creative. And then at the same time, with Don Marino and them kind of like doing their whole analysis, their version of it as well. That was really dope. And then at the same time, I think it was the second round.
When they did the whole rewind thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you also had one moment where, like, there was a moment, even in the first round, where, like, Nitty and Jay the Nightwing were kind of, like, going back and forth as far as, like, their styles being different.
Yeah.
And then in the second round, like, Jay finally being like, all right, well, let me try this on. Like, I thought that was really dope. And
it was clever.
And at the same time, Don Marino, again, made me, if we talk about this being a big card, and because the thing with the card was essentially a rookie and a vet versus a rookie and a vet with the exception of the main event.
Right.
And, like, I think the way that they structured the teams was really well. I'd been kind of hearing about Don Marino, but he made me that man said, I saw marijuana get legalized at the border before my people.
Yeah.
What?
He hit him with the Mexican bars.
Man, look, talk that Mexican talk, man. I need all of that all around. It was a great performance for both parties involved, man.
Agree. I can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with saying 2-1. Nitty and Jay Nightwing. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be mad at anybody said 2-1 DNA. And you saying and Don for real because the second round was I think for sure DNA and Don. First round for sure was Jay and Nitty. And it's all about who you take in that third
round. We
you know what I'm saying?
Preference.
And that's a preference type of thing because they both teams hit on you know what I'm saying what their angle and their scheme was, and it was just like they both literally was talking about it, and it was like so. I honestly 2-1 Nitty and Jay because I didn't think their pairing was going to be the way it was. The chemistry was the way it was.
Right.
And they were on
flying.
it.
And then to that point, that's one thing I will say. Like, in those 2-on-2 settings, one thing I've noticed about DNA, he's really good about, one, keeping his partner on track, and at the same time feeding off of his opponent's, off of his teammates' energy, because him and K-Shine do that really well. And so I was actually really surprised to see just how well he was able to do that with Don Marino in this battle.
Speaking of K-Shine, let's go ahead and jump to that next one.
Well, no, before we get to that, there's another battle that happened before that.
Okay. That
was B-Dot and Real Sick, Real Rap versus Arsenal and Kid Chaos.
So,
Anarchy.
Before you go.
No, because, well.
And this is first watch.
Yeah.
First watch. Granted, it's first watch. To me, and maybe it was the whole chemistry thing, I'm going 3-0 Ars and Kid Chaos.
So, let me start by saying, one, I am an avid B-Dot fan.
Okay. I like B-Dot.
I'm a huge, like, I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say by saying, I am an avid B-Dot fan.
Got you.
I told Loso to his face at Bullpen that he was going to lose to B-Dot when they battled. And after the battle, I saw Loso in the parking lot, and I still told him to his face, you did your thing, but B-Dot got you. B-Dot is hands down one of my favorite battlers in the game right now. Just from, again, if we're talking about having like everyone, like I am a B-Dot fan.
I got you.
This particular battle is one of the battles I was most excited about when they first announced it. Oh, bet B-Dot, Real Sick. They finna re-rapping their heads off. And then you got Arsenal and Kid Chaos. I'm like, cool. Kid Chaos be snapping.
You got that pen.
He got a pen. And Ars been on a run lately, been doing this thing. It's almost like Ars found a fountain of youth. Cool. I'm excited. Bam. It's gonna be a great battle. Cool. Now, the bias in me prediction was like, yeah, of course. I got B-Dot and Real Sick, pretty convincingly because I'm biased.
Yeah.
Now, that's not, to count Ars out or Real Sick out because Ars is Ars. Like, that's that man.
Yeah.
However, if I'm talking about my preferences, that was my initial prediction. And then the face-off happened. Now, for those who don't know, you can, again, we've been talking a lot about body language and reading people. Now, one thing about Arsenal in these battles, you can always tell if Arsenal got a trick up his sleeve or if he about to spaz out.
Yeah, most definitely.
If you watch the face-off, he has a clear tail every single time. If in that face-off, Arsenal get real quiet, he starts smiling and laughing, that means one of two things. He got something in the tuck.
Yeah.
Or his opponent done pissed him off.
Facts.
Every single time. And that face-off happened.
and that's what you seen.
And I saw that looking. And then as soon as I saw it, and I knew exactly where it was coming from. Because, again, I'm a B-Dot fan.
Yeah.
And so as I'm watching the face-off, I'm like, B-Dot, like, I get where you coming from talking your stuff, but please pull your foot out your ass. But just from the face-off and the way that they were talking, like, there was a level of energy being, that was abundant on camera. Like again, you can kind of see where it's almost like, it felt like Arsenal and Kid Chaos was like, they were intentionally asking questions, like looking for, like, I want you to say, like, give me a reason to get pissed off for this battle. And I think, Real Sick did a good job of, respectfully being humble, but I think a lot of what B-Dot had to say in that face-off ticked off Ars and Kid Chaos the night before, and it showed in the battle because I was rooting for them. I really was. And if I'm being biased, in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, B-Dot and Real Sick finna, oh, yeah, Yeah, man, look, as much as I love him, Arson Kid Chaos got out there and went off. All 3 rounds, they was barking, rapping all 3 rounds. The level of chemistry between one another, like the two of them literally sounded like one person throughout at certain points throughout the battle. And even from the performance level and moving around again, like they literally looked like they were in sync. Like it literally looked like, you know, 2 people in one, like all in one rap. And it was all 3 rounds just bombing. And I will say, you know, even if I'm being objective, I will say B-Dot and Real Sick did a great job fighting back and putting forth the effort. By no means was this a terrible performance from them, especially Real Sick in that third. Like, he was going off, and, like, B-Dot was going off in the second. Cool, I'm with all of that. But, again, I think that Ars being the legend and the veteran that he is showed that there are levels to this. And I think I've seen a lot of people talking about how they think B-Dot is getting too cocky or getting too arrogant, and I can kind of see why. And me being a fan, that's kind of hard to admit because like even in this 2-on-2 battle, like all right, well you see how that turned out, and then in this battle before this with Suge, you know, I'll be honest, that was another battle that going into it, I thought B-Dot would win pretty convincingly, and Suge came in rapping. Like, I expected Suge to be on one from an energy level, but he really stepped up, you know, from a pen standpoint. And so, like, even seeing that and then, like, having those 2 performances back-to-back, it's kind of like, all right, B-Dot, like, maybe you want to, like, maybe the universe is kind of trying to tell you to humble yourself a little bit, take a step back, you know, realign some chakras, do whatever you got to do. And it hurts me to have to say that, though, because, like... But
so what you giving the battle, though?
Oh, no, it's Arson Kid Chaos 30.
30?
I have to.
Like body bag 30 or gentleman's 30?
I'll say gentleman's 30 because I will say, again, B-Dot and Real Sick fought back every round, and they were good each round.
Yeah.
However, you can be good and still, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's levels to this. Like, you know, ever so often, I don't know, like, fucking... I want to equate it to some food, but I'm drawing a blank. But, like, you know, there's a difference between, like, getting Golden Crust, not to say that someone is Golden Crust, but, like, you know, there's a difference between, like, buying food and your mama's home cooking.
Right.
When it comes to these rapping. And, like, I just think that, you know, Arson Kid Chaos...
They were on one, man. They were on one. Arsenal, his veteran status, but folks sometimes sleep or think Arsenal is just all about disrespect. Ars actually has a pen now. He can rap.
Ars been rapping his whole career.
And then you team him up with a guy like Kid Chaos, up and comer, who has a pen, and now what Ars does is now help bring out that performance for Kid Chaos.
And make no mistake, and make no mistake about it. Because even throughout the card, one thing I've noticed, each of the rookies, so to speak, who matched up with veterans, they were all matched up with veterans that were kind of like similar to them. So in a way, like I think a lot of these newer class guys got an opportunity to connect with some of the vets and like, oh, soak up game. Let me add this. And for the vets, a lot of them is kind of like, oh, I see the young bucks out here still getting it in. Like, you know what I mean? Let me, you know, still kind of do my thing with them because, you know, like, because you are, and so we both have pretty much agreed, like, that was pretty much Anarchy 30.
Pretty much.
Then, next battle on the card, K-Sean and Lou Castro versus Av and Fonz. I'm going to keep it all the way funky with you. This battle, originally, like when I saw this battle on the card, oh yeah, that's my smoke break battle. I'm going to keep it funky.
Really?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you niggas love K-Sean so much.
What's not to like about him?
I could name a lot.
All right, we ain't got time for that, but okay, come on.
All I'm going to say is K-Sean versus Pat Stay was not a good battle.
Oh, I agree. But not on K-Sean's part.
Yes, even on K.
Although it probably wasn't the best K-Sean, it damn sure wasn't the best Pat Stay.
But the reason that I say that specifically is so, like, for me personally, like, K-Sean, like, of course, like, everyone says Sean is all performance, he gonna dance. And I will say Shine can rap. Shine definitely can rap. I will give him that. I will just say, in my experience in a lot of battles, a lot of his material is kind of like, all right, like, that's just cool. Like, for me, a lot of his material and a lot of his past battles have been like, all right, like, that's just, like, that's very surface level. There's more energy than anything else. Like, I like the bar because of how you performed it, not because I actually like the bar. In most cases. However, K-Shine has had these moments here and there where it's like, okay, I rock with, okay. Case in point, in his battle with, I think it was E. Hart. All right, cool. First Kings. All right, cool. Bet. I got you. I see you, Shine. I didn't care for the Pat Stay battle. There was another.
I think that's one of those battles again. I felt should have been on a big stage.
But from the standpoint of him wanting to try something new, I get where he was going for. All right, cool. He battled someone else after Pat Stay, but before this, and I'm drawing a blank on.
Chilla Jones.
Nah, he lost that battle. I don't.
Right, but that's who we battled after Pat Stay.
Okay, yeah. So, but like even in that battle, like there were moments where Shine's getting a reaction. I'm just like, that wasn't that fire to me. That's just my personal opinion.
Got you.
However, again, Shine has also had moments where it's like, case in point, him versus Chess. Shine was rapping. That's the Shine that I like.
Got you.
That said, this particular battle, K-Shine and Lou Castro teaming up together.
The energy alone.
Them little niggas. You talk about that short man complex.
Yeah, but that energy alone, that energy alone also lets you know what I'm saying, look, this shit finna be crazy.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Look.
And then you add that with Av and Fonz, who've already battled each other.
And to that point, with Fonz being, winning the Ultimate Madness and then calling out Shine, all right, bet. Thought he was wilding for that. And I will say, like, if we're talking about chemistry, I think this was the most mirror match, or more like these niggas, like K-Shine and Lou Castro, for all intents and purposes, are twins when it come to rap. Av and Fonz, for all intents and purposes, when it come to rapping, are twins.
I think Av a little bit more punch heavy than Fonz, but yeah.
And of course, but just from the standpoint of like their overall, like the way they set them, very much identical in the way that they. Hey, big dog, man! Look, and so yeah, I will definitely say I was like, oh my god, Sean and Lou was on one all 3 rounds. Fonz and Av was fighting.
Battle of the night.
No, for me personally, that was not my battle of the night.
Okay, all right,
close.
So who you giving? So who you giving this battle to?
That's
for time's sake.
For time's sake, I had on first watch. I had K-Shine and Lou Castro on first watch, just because energy in the performance, and they were actually rapping. But I have to go back home and rewatch it again, because I can easily say, like, if someone said Fonz and Av, I could see why.
Right.
Even watching it live, I think before Jay Black and them did the official scorecards, it was tied for the longest time. Like they had to move on to the next battle before they could officially call it in the building.
Off of the votes.
You know what I mean? But I want to say, if I remember correctly, first watch I had Lou Castro and K-Shine winning second and third round, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't be mad if anybody said 2-1 either way.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, battle of the night, I'm gonna edge it to them simply because of the energy and the chemistry from both teams was crazy. So 2-1 either way for me. First watch, I'm giving it. I'm Lou and K-Shine.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That whole, I think it was the second round when Lou mimicked everything K-Shine did.
Man, look, they got in sync for a second. Then you had Lou in the background mimicking him. I'm like, what you doing? You playing too much, and they still was
Bruh, it was that joint was hard.
Wildin'.
That joint was hard. For the next battle, Tay-Rock. Easy, the block captain versus CCC
versus Triple C's, Geechi, Gotti, and Swamp, Carolina, Compton, Cartel.
So obviously you had to have this battle as the battle of the night.
I'm gonna be honest, I did.
Okay, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm not mad at that
because again, for me personally, coming into this event, the two battles I was most excited for: Real Rap versus Anarchy, and then this one. Because one, I'm a huge B-Dot fan, and I'm a huge Arsenal fan. But this battle in particular, aside from the top tier dishes and the names in and of themselves, I just feel like not T-Top, Easy and Tay-Rock, like the way that they rhyme stylistically, like as a team, that makes so much sense. Like soon as they announced Tay-Rock and Easy, I was like, oh yeah, like they finna be barking. Like we finna, like, how people talk about they want that old big hat Tay-Rock. As soon as they said him and Easy, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely coming back.
That's what you about to get.
And because again, you talk about that energy, that aggression, that old face of URL and the potential new face like Smack's new gunner, Easy. And then you talk about Swamp and Geechi Gotti from the standpoint of Geechi, 2-time champion of the year.
Facts.
Swamp,
arguably undefeated against men.
Undefeated against the men. Only clear loss coming against KCJ.
Facts.
So, like, both of them, again, doing their thing. Swamp, another new gunner. And I was thoroughly surprised at how well Swamp and Geechi Gotti were from a chemistry. That was my only concern with this battle. How much chemistry would they have? But from the standpoint of, again, getting through their material and, like, feeding off of each other and bouncing lines off of each other, not just I'm gonna go ISO rap for 16, then you come ISO and rap. Like I think all of the teams, with the exception of the main event, did a really good job of that.
So I'm being told we got like 5 more minutes. So real quick, we're gonna speed through this just a little bit. Speed through this just a little bit. So who you giving that battle to?
On first watch, I gave it to Swamp and Geechi.
Agreed. 2-1.
2-1. I know for sure I gave Swamp and Geechi that third round, and I want to say
they spazzed on that third. That third round was hella funny,
and especially flipping, Rock going viral official, and then flipping it and showing them the better way to do it. That was really dope.
Facts.
Great performance from all 4 battles. Shout outs to them. And then finally, we got the main event.
Do we really got to recap this one?
I mean, technically we do because it was on the card. So essentially, you got Murderland, Murder Mook and Calico versus T-Top and New Jersey Twerk.
I'm going 2-1 Jerusalem Park.
I'm going 0-3. Everybody. As far as I'm concerned.
If I got to pick, I'm going 2-1 Jerusalem Park.
Like, if I got to pick, I guess I'll say Jerusalem Park won. Just because, like,
the whole Mook thing,
talking. Even because in the battle, like, all right, cool. I liked Murderland in the first, just from the standpoint of like, coming out on the it happened, like we did this, but it ain't got to be all of that. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. But like after a while, it just felt like they was just being extra and focusing on that. And then like even with the altercations and all of the stuff, I will say from the standpoint of T-Top and Twerk, like, all right, well, if y'all gonna be talking through our rounds, we finna do the same thing.
Facts.
And, like, the niggas was literally just saying whatever. And so, like, Smack even said it himself. He was glad Top was on his BS and, the battle was, ruined. So I guess if I have to pick a winner, I guess I'll say Jerusalem Park. Like, the energy in that was weird. Niggas had a whole podcast mid-battle. Like, yeah, no, we not doing that.
Got you. So yeah, I'm go 2-1 Jerusalem Park. I was disappointed in the whole Mook thing and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna leave that from Double Impact. That was our recap from Double Impact. Real quick, man, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and give our predictions for Max Out going down April 3rd. RBE, shout out to ARP bringing it back to the city. Gonna be in the A. First battle. All right, well, I'm gonna just go through the card real quick. Give me your predictions. O-Red versus Jag.
O-Red 30.
Clean 30? Body bag 30 or gentleman 30?
Possibly. I'll say Jag. I'll say Jag.
He won't get around.
Jag will have a couple of lines, and he did it. I think Jag will have a better performance than Cassidy. Okay. I think Jag will definitely do better than Cass. But I got O-Red 30.
Got you. Ill Will versus A-Ward.
Battle of the night.
Agreed.
So with Ill Will coming off of that Danny, but see, he didn't really want to battle Danny Myers like that anyway. But then again, A-Ward been spazzing.
Him and Riggs just had probably one of the best battles of the year. I'm not gonna lie. If you ain't checked it out, go see that A Ward versus Riggs battle because them boys was talking.
I'm gonna have to check it out. But see, even in A Ward's battle with because he had just battled Old Red too. Like both, like he had.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Check that out.
Okay.
Check that out. But if I have to pick one, I'm gonna go Ill Will just because of veteran leadership. But I would not be surprised if A Ward can pull it out. Like I think that's gonna be another one of them preference battles either way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Ill Will as well. Ill Will is almost to me is like a John. You really can't predict what he's gonna do, and he has a little bit of everything. In his, you know what I'm saying, in his arsenal. So I'm gonna go 2-1. I wouldn't be mad if A Ward snuck in there and stole it, but yeah, 2-1 Ill Will. Show Off versus Rosenberg. If I get Rosenberg versus Big K, I'm going Rosenberg.
Fair enough. But see, I like Show Off though.
I do, but I'm gonna throw this jab in there. He probably had one of the wackest, top tier battle tracks.
See, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't even know that he.
Yeah, he did one. It was whack. It was ass to me. I ain't even gonna lie.
But see, Rosenberg did his thing against he just battled too, and I'm drawing a blank on who it was. But if I have to pick, I'm gonna go Show Off just because.
Show Off is
it's
on
RBE. That's his home.
Yeah.
You know, if I have to pick, I'm gonna go with Show Off.
I'm gonna go with Show Off as well. 2-1. I wouldn't be mad if Rosenberg stole this though.
Definitely.
Honestly. Next battle, Clone versus Big K, which just got announced. Really, Clone is literally writing a week before for Big K.
So Clone, this ain't Bullpen.
Facts.
So take advantage of the opportunity. Big K, the Dawg ain't to be taken lightly. You see what he did to Adi Boom last battle. That said, if I gotta pick one, I'm gonna go Big K. I'm gonna be a homer.
I'm going homer. I like Big K. I love Big K. Big K, one of my favorite battle rappers. I'm not gonna lie, but Clone has something to prove to a lot of people. He got his opportunity on King of the Dot.
Yeah.
Or whatever. He does his thing in the Bullpen. He has his own battle league as well. Wartown Battle League. I'm gonna go Clone. Honestly, this would probably be possibly my battle of the night as well.
I would just say Clone, show me something. You know what I mean? You got a chance. I want to pull for you.
Yeah.
Give me a reason to, man.
Got you. Last but not least, main event, Cassidy versus Hitman.
Oh, wait, because we didn't do JC and None.
Oh, wait, that's on this card?
I do believe so.
They ain't got it on the flyer, but okay, JC and None. Who you got?
JC. Because None been spazzing too. But I got JC.
If we get JC that just battled Lady Flames, it's over for None.
Yeah.
On guard.
I ain't gonna lie, None look good in that Ultimate Madness tournament, but that boy JC
that was almost a year ago though.
Yeah, JC.
And JC recently just battled.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, but I'm not picking against JC. I'm not picking against Julian Carter.
Can't. 3-0.
Main event. You already know who I got, man. I got Hitman 30.
Dirty 30.
Dirty 30.
Body bag in a body bag in a body bag 30.
Like, I think Cass will have some moments. He may have a line or two. You know, they may give him that It's Cassidy first round love. But, like, after that, nigga, Hitman finna be up there rapping. Show out from the jump in.
This is the thing, though. Although they may try to get first round is Hitman. That's what he does.
Like, that's what he does. Like, Hitman finna be in there barking on them. Show Out finna jump in at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if he bring a remix. Hitman ain't did a remix in a minute. I would not be surprised if Hitman intentionally brings a remix specifically back for this battle.
Agreed.
Just for Cassidy.
Agreed.